Yo guys, welcome back to another League Racing video on the channel. Today we are here with PSGL round number 7 at Portimao. These are the standings coming into round 7, and we are currently sat a measly P10 after getting a run of 3 race finishes, which you can't say about the start of the season, so we're making some sort of improvement. But now we are coming to a track that I've never done a league race on before. Actually, that's a lie. I've done a league race in UFRL, and that was for a championship fight. It was crucial round, and I realised I had absolutely no pace. And I've done a little bit of practice, so I'm not sure I'll be too much faster than I was then. But you can see for the first time this season, we're actually having a wet qualifying. We're on the inters, we left it as late as possible, or as late as I was comfortable with. And you can just see the track's improved so much since our first run, and we're just climbing through the time. So this lap is just going to be about getting the power down as quick as possible, while also being able to not spin, because as long as I don't spin, I should be on track for a decent starting position. Joe Royal goes quickest with a 23.1, which I'm actually not sure what time I've set at the minute. But we are going so much faster. We're 8/10 up going through turn 8. And there's just so much more track left to race on. So we could be finishing around 1.5 seconds faster than our previous lap. Again, not sure, not sure what that time was. But we're just going to need to hope we can get it put together. Going a little bit narrow through turns 13 and then trying to get the power down as quick as possible out of 14, but it is so difficult to get the power down. We're going to try and keep the foot to the floor, which we are able to do. We are now 1.7 seconds up, maybe even climbing to 1.8. Where will we go? P15 all the way up to P3, but there's still people crossing the line. Leonardo goes fastest, drops us to P4. Someone else goes quicker, we're down to P5.
Can you not do that?
Chocolate Paper, our in-game teammate right now, is going to go up probably higher, but we're in P7 at the minute, and I think it's ended.
I might have been able to get,
and we're P7, so close to getting onto the top 3 to start, but unfortunately it is only going to be 7th. And we're going to go look at the times and see just how close we were. And actually it wasn't too close, to be fair. We were just under 3/10 away from pole, but I think there was about a tenth in that lap if I just got it completely right. If I took every corner flawlessly, got no rear wheel spinning, I think that could have been a top 3, which would have been incredible for a track that I'm pretty sure I won't be doing very good on. But either way, P7 is not down in the bottom half of the grid, so we are going to be on the grid now. We're starting on the mediums, full dry race, 5 red lights, and we are underway. We're going to get a better start than Miranvi in the Alpha Tauri, already jumping up to P6, but we're going to have to try and hold around the outside, try and not get ran off the road. We managed to keep it with all 4 lines all 4 tyres in the white lines. He sends it back up the inside. We're still side by side going through turns 3, then up through turn 4. We just about keep it squeezed. We try and squeeze them off, but we end up going up the inside. A safety car, and then we're trying to stay ahead of Joe Royal. And for some reason, the game just decides to give us a 5-second
Oh my
penalty.
god. Oh, I'm done. Oh, that's outrageous. What did I do?
Meaning that
Nah,
we obviously have to box under the safety car to get rid of the 5 seconds, which is going to instantly get rid of any advantage we had of starting in the top 7. And it's even told me to give the position back to Joe Royal. And I was ahead of him when the safety car came out.
Like, why is it giving me a penalty?
And it was the slightest of contact with the Alpha Tauri, who actually realised we weren't going side by side with throughout the whole first lap. We were going side by side with Joe. But we are just going to have to box, because if we don't box, then we're kind of ruined here. Like, the race is done if we don't box now. So we're just going to have to fight our way back. You can see us stopped serving the 5 seconds. And we're going to come out P16. The start couldn't have gone much worse. Like, the safety car coming out fine. Losing the position to Joe, okay, it's annoying, but it's fine. But getting the 5 seconds, it's just the game's just so bugged. It's not a esports ready game. And saying that, I'm actually recording this in between rounds 2 and 3 of the new esports start of the esports season. But it's still not an esports ready game. I'm surprised nothing's went wrong. But we are going to have to hold back because we're not going to try and repeat what happened in Austria with a ghosted car on a safety car restart. So we have to hold it back. And unfortunately, Chocolate Paper's gone up the inside. We are going to try and hold it around the outside. We keep it on the limits. Holding it around the outside into turn 3. He is keeping it. He's keeping us right. But we are able to cut him off and get back to the racing line. But he has made the switch back through turn 4. And on the run down to the hairpin into turn 5, he's still going to be there. He's still up our inside. We are going to try and hold it around the outside yet again. Try and get a better exit. We are going to leave him the space on the inside. But going through the fast swooping right, we actually go over the curve. We nearly spin out. But we managed to keep it on the track. And again, Chocolate Paper is on our outside. Will we be able to close him off? We just about get ahead of him. But he did look like he's going to be going up the inside, so we cover it off nicely. And we've survived a scare there, because I ran over the yellow sausage curbs, which you never want to run over, especially in a high-speed corner like that, and I somehow managed to keep the car pointing in the right direction. But starting the end of lap 4 to go on to the start of lap 5, we're a bit far behind of Linus, and Chocolate Paper is on the faster tyres, and he's so much closer. You can see the speed he has, and he's just flown by so easily. So I defended as much as I could throughout the safety car, out lap. The first lap after the safety car, defended as much as I could. And I unfortunately pick up my first warning of the race. Surprisingly, when I'm not going side by side, which is a major skill issue, but is what it is. We're just going to have to get our head down and focus and hope that we can actually keep up with the train ahead, because my pace right now is not looking too good. But we are settling into a nice little train here. P14 now, after the safety car restart, staying in P14 for the end of lap 5, beginning of lap 6. We're going to try and not use any ERS to try and catch up to Linus, but unfortunately that means that Ren Zero is going to just easily make a move into turn 1. He's a new reserve in this league. So just going to let him go. There's really not much point fighting it. I really just need to hope I can stick with him now, because I am now last on track out of the people that haven't picked up damage since the safety car, which is probably the first time that's actually happened to me. So this is a new experience. It's maybe a bit of a reality check, but I think that's what this entire season's been so far. Go to lap 8 now, not much has happened. Ren Zero made it past Linus, and you can hear me moaning like you will for the rest of this race that I'm too slow. But we are closing in on Linus. Not going to make a move just yet. Going to fake out the inside. We're not using our ERS. Trying to make the move. No point using. But then again, there might be a point. We make Linus run deep. Keep applying the pressure. We're going to try and get a better exit through turn 4. The uphill left-hander. Going to be using our ERS with the DRS. Going to move to the inside. Braking later. And then getting the move. Nicely done. Back onto the racing line. And trying to get back up to speed quickly. We're going to need to try and lock in here, because Ren Zero and Tommy up ahead, both out of a second, and actually Tommy is an AI car, so we're actually going to need to dispatch him pretty quickly if we want to keep trying to get DRS and keep concentration and a clear view of the road. But Ren Zero is about 1.3 away, and we are going to be cutting it close with the DRS. And I think, yeah, by the time we move on, we're on lap 10 now, and we're about the same gap, maybe even a bit more, 1.4 seconds now. And we're just not able to catch up. We're just stuck. Me and Linus, just stuck, the two of us, not really making any progress. But up ahead, we actually almost lose the car. We cut the corner. We just about managed to catch it, but then we lose the position to Linus. And it's...
Can't be asked playing this game.
I just, yeah, you became moaning again. But I can't be asked. Like, I really don't want to be racing right now. I'm just demotivated, because the start of the race really didn't help us. The fact we had to box so early, it's just put us on the back foot on a track that I'm not good at. And it's just, it's not ideal. But up ahead, Sir Alex Ante is an AI car. He's paused the game. Linus goes for a big send. And we have to make that. We have to just get the better traction, else he would just hold us up ridiculously. Lap 12 now. Looking like we're going to be able to make a move on Linus into turn 1. using a bit of our ERS, not too much, staying side by side. We brake later, we actually get through first time. Then we have to defend the inside into turn 3. We run deep, he puts us under pressure this time, doing the same thing that I did to him earlier in the race. And we're going to have a little bit of a drag race down to turn 5. But it is looking like we have made the move stick. And we have safely through turn 5 and getting on the power and just trying to make more progress. But up ahead, 2.3 seconds the gap now. Moving on to lap 15. Linus just goes for a move. We back off, we let him through. Try for a little cheeky switch back, but we back out because he is going to close the door, which he does. And yeah, it's just not ideal because again, Ren Zero is just pulling so far ahead of us now. Every time I cut to another clip a few laps ahead, he's further and further away. He is 4.4 seconds ahead now. We actually try and send it back up the inside of Linus. He does leave the space, but right now, I am not too concerned with playing the team game and trying to work together to catch up to Ren Zero because he is too far gone. And I'm just a bit frustrated at the minute, and I'm just wanting to have some racing. Linus is on a 3-second penalty at the minute. And cutting to the end of that lap where he made the overtake. We are going to be overtaken by Chocolate Paper, who I can't remember if he actually boxed again, because I did know he was ahead of us at some point after the safety car, because he did box with us. He did make an overtake on us, but he actually ends up blocking off Linus a little bit, and he just leaves the gap. We take the gap, make it through, but then we lock up horrendously, and Linus is straight back through, and this is seeming to be the story of this race right now, is that we just overtake, then I make some dumb mistake, and then he's let right back through, and just it's been a yo-yo effect. Nothing's really been happening, no progress is being made by either of us. The same stuff just keeps happening. But right now behind us, Kiwi, a driver who has boxed, I believe they have actually boxed. And just thinking about it, maybe this is actually a 2-stop race, because I know Chocolate Paper boxed for mediums in the safety car, as Kiwi actually just makes a very easy move. We end up just letting him go. But I remember Chocolate Paper boxed with us under the first safety car for mediums, and then he overtook us. Then he somehow ended up behind us again. So maybe this is actually a 2-stop race and I just didn't realise, which is a pretty big mistake. Thinking back on it, I should probably have realised what kind of strategy this race is. Because maybe I could use that as an excuse for why I've been so slow so far. Anyway, lap 17, we are going to be using some of our ERS. We're going to try and stay in the slipstream of Kiwi and try and put him under pressure. Just to try and trip him up sometimes. Maybe, yeah, just fake it up the inside. Never actually going for the move. I'm just trying to slow him down a bit here. Just because I'm having a bad race. I'm just trying to ruin anyone else's that I come across now. Call it petty. I call it... I don't know what I call it. I'm just bored at this point. You can see us send a move that we never actually really looked like going for. Then we have a compromise line. Lap 17 now, cutting ahead. This is our box lap. We are going to be boxing for some new mediums. And yeah, so we're going to come out. Where are we going to come out? Let's just look at... We're filtering down, falling from like P6 to about P15. And we come out just in front of Sir Alexanti, who is, I believe, still under AI. But we do it. No, it's actually Roger Well we come across. Who's a lap down? I don't even know what's happening. The gaps are so wrong. There's AI cars, there's not AI cars. It's all just a bit confusing at the minute. But we do come out in P15, and we have everything to do in this race to gain a singular point minimum. Because that's my goal at the minute. And lap 18... we are pretty far down. Moving on to lap 21, Kiwi and Joe Royal have boxed for some softs, so maybe that is a 2-stop strategy for them. And just maybe it'll work. And there's a safety car. And we are back in the race. That safety car has completely saved us because we are so far behind anyone else. And my pace has been so lackluster that this is the only way I would be able to get anything from this race. And we are obviously going to box for some fresh softs like everyone else has. Bar maybe one hasn't boxed. But either way, we are going to have to slightly double stack it with Chocolate Paper. But onto the softs, and out we go. This is a huge, for our race, this is a huge moment. Lap 23, with 10 laps to go, the safety car is going to come in. 10 lap sprint to the end of the race. We try and get a jump on Linus. We do get a little bit of a jump. We're using our ERS. We're going to try and get past him as quick as possible. Moving over to the inside, but we don't really have the straight line speed. Maybe my wings are slightly too low, burning 30% of our battery. But we can't make the move, which is frustrating because I've just wasted all that battery. Geaton Kassen of Merc spins, but we end up sending up the inside of Linus, clipping the inside sausage curb for about the third sausage curb that I've actually hit this race. Ideally, you want to hit none of them, but either way, I'm feeling confident that I can stay in this train, and if I can make a move on Linus, then I'm looking nice for the points, because that would put us in the points places. Using so much more of our ERS again, going to try and get a move past Linus, go and put up the insides. It's going to be risky going for a move here. We actually hit the sausage curb again, and I end up losing the back end of it, pushing Linus off track. But we're going to put a move up the inside, keep up the inside into turn 3, then try and get a better exit through turn 4, and we've made the move. I did lose the back end, and I hit the 4th sausage curb. And you see me waving a little bit, trying to somewhat apologise to Linus for running him wide through turns 1 and 2. But I didn't end up getting brought to the stewards for it afterwards, so we cut on to lap 30 with 3 laps left of racing. Cars up ahead going side by side. There's a swipe across. Kiwi almost takes out Marcus. They're running off the track side by side. Going to try and avoid it, but also try and get a switch back as Marcus just slams into the side. We end up hitting into the back of Marcus. Going to try and go for a move, but then we end up losing the back end massively, nearly spinning out. And that has completely killed our tyres and our momentum. We were going to try and make a move around the outside of Kiwi for P9, but then we just run into the back of him, and then Joe gets past, and then Kiwi's just letting Joe pass now, and it's all going wrong. And the tyres, I can start to feel it now. See, we lose the back end a little bit there. The tyres, after that half spin, are just cooked. So going on the last lap of the race, we are not going to be really able to challenge. As you can see, we're also on no battery, 1% now. We're going to try and see if we can pick up any scraps that from anyone spinning. But the tyres have been hurt in the last lap, so we are just going to be trying to pray for any scraps. It's a big
man.
It's a big train, and then I also lose the back end even more, which fully cements my fully cements P10, and I was going to be looking to pick up more scraps, and Jamie's going off track, maybe even gain on track positions there from people not spinning, but I just lose the back end massively, and I hit my 5th or 6th at this point sausage curb, and we are just going to be looking to pick up P10 from Kiwi once his penalty has kicked in. As long as we don't spin the car a full 360, we will finish within the 3 seconds of Kiwi and pick up the P10. But it's just been an absolutely horrible race. I've hated driving this track, and I hope to never drive it again. Side by side up ahead goes Joe Royal and Marcus. So much scrapping, nearly 3 wide up ahead. They keep it 2 wide. We're going to try and get a better exit, going up into 4th gear. Quick on the power as we can, with our tyres being in such poor condition. And up ahead, Marcus and Joe come together. Marcus spins, and Kiwi ends up having a moment trying to avoid it. So we end up picking up P9, which, looking back on it, P9 is huge from this race because I do not deserve to be finishing within the points. Leonardo picks up, I believe, his first win of the season as Zanatatos and Meran finish off the podium. Joe Royal loses out a little bit on his title fight. I did hear him crying about that in the chat, but just grow up a little bit, man. Like, it's not that deep. But we finished P9, and the race was horrible, and I hope to never have to do Portugal again. But that makes it 4 consecutive points finishes in a row, which is miles above what we got in the start of the first 3 races of the season. So we're going to have to keep this run onwards. But I'm actually missing the next race at Azerbaijan because I've got to revise for school. But I'll see you in like 2 weeks. So, see ya.